Hello students, let us look into the first module which starts with Introduction to Communication. What is communication? Communication refers to the transmission of information. It refers to the transmission of information from one place to other. So if there are two people, one who is sending the information and the second one who is trying to receive the information, then there has to be a communication between them. Now, if two people are sitting very close by, then they can make a conversation or they can communicate with the help of speech or with the help of facial expressions and even gestures. Gestures means actions. Okay. So, if any information has to be passed between two people who are sitting very close by, they can use any of the following physical means. When we are talking about long distance communication, and that is the topic that we are having in this subject or in this course, long distance communication. For a long distance communication, initially humans used to rely on non electronic means like drum beats, smoke signal, running messengers, horses, pigeons. Like drum beats means based on the way in which the drum is beaten, different signals are given to the people around. For example, if you take an old fort, okay, and there is a gate to that fort, on top of the gate there are sentries standing, and they will be looking out for any danger coming, and as some danger is coming, they will beat the drums, and based on the kind of signal, people inside will understand that there is some danger or there is someone approaching or something like that. Later, drum beats don't travel very far away, so they thought of going for smoke signals. So there will be, it within one village, within one place, there will be a tower on top of which there will be some mechanism to generate smoke, and based on the smoke some particular important information could have been sent. Then they also had running messengers, people who used to run for kilometers for giving messages. That's how marathon and all have evolved. Previously marathon was an item in the, not previously, now also we have marathon as an item, sports item, or as an event in Olympics. And Olympics was based on the prevalent culture of that time, and that time we used to have marathon runners who used to run with messenger as messengers for delivering different messages. Then we are having horses. So it's a horse without any rider. The horse is always trained to go from one point to another point. It may be kilometers apart, and the horse will run, and on its back there will be some message which it has to take. Better than that was a pigeon, because a pigeon can fly very fast, so pigeons were also used. Later, once electrical methods were discovered, we had telegraphy, wire telegraphy, and then telephony and radio. At the beginning of the 20th century, with the discovery of radio, the information age actually started. There was a rapid change in it. Now we are having satellites, fiber optics, and mobile communication, many such things, and even computer and internet and data communications that we are having. So looking at all of this, we can safely conclude that we are right now in a communication revolution era. Now, when we say that information has to be transmitted from one person to another person, let us look at what is the stages of that. First is that an information should occur in the mind of a person. For example, right now I am thinking of delivering a lecture to you, So that information has to occur in my mind, or I have to read it somewhere. And the next is that we have to generate a kind of message signal which is carrying that information. For example, now whatever thought process I have had, I have to use a language. For example, right now I'm using English language. I have to use English language and I have to speak from my throat or from my voice box. So this is a sound signal. So I have to generate a sound signal which is carrying that information. And that is what the generation of message signal means. So it's an acoustic wave. Okay. It can be an acoustic wave, it can be a pictorial message, anything. But basically, it's generated by the human itself. The next step is converting the message signal into electrical form using a suitable transducer. Okay, so we have to convert this message signal. For example, my voice that I am having, I am speaking this message to a mic, and that mic is converting my acoustic signal into a electrical signal. And that mic is basically called as a transducer. So what is basically a transducer? Transducer is a device that converts one form of energy into another form of energy. So here we are having the acoustic energy and that is being converted into electrical energy. So that is a transducer. It converts one form of energy into another form of energy, basically an electrical energy. So it converts any kind of an energy, it converts into an electrical energy. Basically, we can call it as sensors also. Transducer, it's because it transforms. That's why. Now, we have to process this message signal because, okay, we have produced it in electric form, and that electric form, if it has to travel long distance, we have to make certain changes. And that is what is the meaning of processing the message signal, such that it will have the capability to travel for a long distance. See, generally if you convert any signal into electrical form, and that electrical signal, if you are going to give to a antenna, the antenna will radiate an electromagnetic wave. Okay, the antenna will radiate an electromagnetic wave, and that electromagnetic wave has the capability to transmit to a long distance. Okay, so that has to take place. So that processing has to take place. Now, when I simply say that the signal has to be given to an antenna so that it transmits, before giving to an antenna, we have to process so that it travels long distance and reaches the destination correctly. Okay. So after processing, we give it to the antenna, and then the antenna basically transmits, and that is the transmission of the process signal. And finally, at the receiving end, wherever the destination is, might be a long distance away, that will use another antenna for the reception of the process signal, which is the electrical signal. So the antenna will basically take that electromagnetic wave and reconvert it into an electrical wave, and that is what is the reception. Once you get that electric wave, you have to again process it. Why? Because you want to get the pure form so that you are able to use another transducer to convert that electrical form of signal back into that another energy, which is basically let's say it's a voice signal or it might be a picture signal. So it has to do that processing of the received signal such that it is able to recreate the original signal, which is non-electric form. So here again we are using a transducer for converting from electrical form to non-electrical form. And finally, that is delivered to the person who is intending to hear it. For example, yourself, you might be having a earphone piece in your Yes, isn't it? That earphone is basically a transducer which is converting the electrical signal into acoustic signal, and that signal is finally getting delivered to you. Okay, so out of these steps that we are having, what your electrical communication or electronics communication deals with is this section, transmission, reception, and then finally the processing to get back the signal. So these many steps have to take place when you are designing a communication radio. Now let us look at what are the elements of a communication system or a communication radio. What are the elements? Okay. Now this is the basic block diagram. It will have 5 parts. As you can see, the information source, the transmitter source, the channel, the receiver, the destination. You can see a fifth block here. It is basically a noise source. See, this noise source is not required. It is something that we have to avoid, but you cannot avoid it. All the technology that we are having is basically concentrated towards mitigating the effect of the noise. What is the meaning of mitigate? Mitigate means to reduce. Mitigate. Mitigate means to reduce. So you cannot completely do away with noise. What you can do is you can take care that the noise is least affecting the signal. It is not affecting the signal that much. That part you can take care of. That's why we say noise source is basically not under our control. What is under our control and what we what we can do is basically in the information source, the transmitter, the receiver, and finally the destination. Channel also up to a certain extent, because noise is finally affecting the channel, so that part we are not able to control. Now out of this we have to see all of these one by one. Okay, all of this one by one we have to see. These are the 5 elements. Okay, so first we will look at the information source. So as we have already said, that any communication system is basically to convey information from one form to another form. What the information source basically does is it takes the signal and converts it into a electrical form. So basically it's with the help of a transducer. For example, if you are having a mic, okay, if you are talking of a mic, the mic is basically converting the sound signal when somebody is speaking. Okay, when somebody is speaking, that sound signal is reaching the mic, and the mic converts it into an electrical signal. So that is basically what an information does. That it does with the help of a suitable transducer. What is a transducer? Transducer is a device which converts energy from one form to another. Basically from one form to electrical form. Okay. For example, as I had already told, the acoustic wave is converted into a electrical form with the help of a transducer. And this electrical version of the message signal is what is given to the transmitter. So here finally we are giving an electrical signal. So what we have to design is mainly the transmitter, the receiver. Okay, and initially this part is basically a mic or any other transducer. Okay, so that is the information source. Next we have to look at the transmitter. So what's a transmitter? So in a transmitter, the main objective of a transmitter is to collect the incoming message signal that it has got from the transducer and then modify it. That modification is basically called as modulate or modulation. Okay, so that modification is called as modulation, and this is something that you will study a lot. Okay, So we have to modify it, or basically what is called as the modulation or modulated, such that it can be transmitted via the chosen channel. See, it's the channel that decides what kind of modulation you should have. Now, what is the meaning of channel? Channel is the physical medium through which your signal is traveling. Now, that can be open space, or it can be a wire. Space is also called as wireless. It can be even optical fiber. Any of this is basically a channel. Channel basically carries the signal from the transmitter towards the destination. Okay. The channel decides what is the kind of modulation you should have. For example, if you are trying to use an optical fiber, then you have to do the modulations for modulating the light. Okay, so just like that, the channel basically decides what is going to be your modulation. Similarly, there are many other blocks. If you would see we have given an example of a transmitter here. So you are having a crystal oscillator from which a carrier signal goes. It goes to the amplifier, and then the amplifier is further amplified in the RF range. And before, there are many stages. You don't amplify in a single stage. There are many stages finally before you amplify it completely. So this is only the carrier part, but the carrier is modulated, and that modulation part, so our mic is basically is connected here. That signal goes to this part, and finally it modulates, and then you have the signal going out of the antenna. In communication, what all are these blocks and all, you will study later. So no need for you to now know by heart this block also. It's just shown for you to understand that there are many steps involved in it. So there are several operations that take place in a transmitter, like amplification of the signal or generation of a high frequency carrier signal. That is what takes place in a crystal oscillator. Okay, then we have the modulation part that is taking place here. Okay, and then we are having finally the radiating part, which is the antenna. Okay, the amplification process basically talks about, or is basically concerned with, the amplification of the signal amplitude up to a required power level. So that is what an amplification process is meaning. Amplifying means we are increasing the amplitude of the voltage, or in a way we are increasing the power of the signal. That is amplification. And high frequency signals are very important. Why? Because we have to do something called as modulation. Modulation happens on the carrier. Modulation is done by a modulating signal. So a modulating signal, like our voice, okay, this is the message. This message basically modulates a carrier. Okay, it basically modulates a carrier signal. Carrier means something that carries. Okay, so it's a carrier signal, and that carrier signal is modulated. So this is the modulating block. So the modulating block basically puts the modulating signal or the message onto the carrier, and that is passed forward. Okay, now this high frequency carrier is generally generated by a stable oscillator, like a crystal oscillator. Okay, now the carrier is just like, why do we talk about carrier? See, for example, if I have to write something here, if I have to write my name here, or let's say if I have to write any word like A here, you will be able to very clearly see it is written A. Okay, if I write it like this, you will very clearly see that it is written A. Whereas here, if I am going to write, you may or may not be able to read it. Why you may or may not be able to read it is because here there is already some something present behind, because of which your letter A is not very well visible. Okay, whereas here the background is clearly white. So just like that, what a carrier has is, it has a very constant value. For example, if you take a carrier, its maximum amplitude will be constant. So you can imagine this amplitude, it's always constant, so it's just like a white page. There is nothing on it, there is no change in it. The maximum amplitude always remains the same. So if, when you are putting any signal on the amplitude, and if the amplitude changes, then you have got a signal on top of the carrier. That's amplitude modulation. Just like that, if you are talking about the frequency of a carrier, the frequency is also constant, it's not changing. So if that constant frequency we are able to change to different frequencies based on our signal, based on our message, then you have what is called as a frequency modulation. Similarly, the phase of the signal can also be changed. So the maximum amplitude can change, which will give us amplitude modulation. Okay, which will give us amplitude modulation. Similarly, the frequency of the carrier signal, which is constant, that can be changed based on message signal, that will give you frequency modulation. Similarly, the phase of the signal can also be changed, and that will give us phase modulation. See, this amplitude modulation, frequency modulation and phase modulation is basically what you have to study in this subject. Okay, and finally, once you have got the modulated signal, you use that antenna, and the antenna is basically another transducer which takes the electrical signal and it converts it into an electromagnetic wave, an EM wave, and that it transmits. Next, let us look at what is channel. So again, going back to the figure where we all started it. So after transmitter we have the channel. Okay, the channel is basically the physical medium which connects the transmitter to the receiver. So here we have an antenna which is the transmitter antenna, and here we have the receiver antenna, and the signal passes in between, that is basically the channel. Now there is no need that there will be antenna, it can be directly connected with the help of a wire, okay, or maybe with the help of an optical fiber. So all of these are channels. A copper wire is a channel, a coaxial cable is the same cable that you use to get cable TV, okay, or we will have an optical fiber cable, or waveguide you have not seen, it's basically used in radar technology, okay, but waveguide is similar to an optical fiber, okay, or even free space is outer space, or even atmosphere. The choice basically depends on the feasibility and also the purpose of communication system. For example, if you want to have a very high data rate, then it's better to go for optical fiber. It will give you very high data rate. If you want to move around freely, just like you are having a mobile, then it's better to go wireless. The channel should be wireless. Why? Because optical fiber has a wire. Wireless, it does not have any wire, so the movement is restricted in optical fiber, whereas in wireless you can move about. Okay, so the choice basically depends on the feasibility. Feasibility means whether it is possible, whether communication is possible, and also the purpose. So if your purpose is very high speed, then it's better to go for optical fiber. Obviously wireless is trying to achieve very high speed, but it is still not anywhere near the optical fiber. Okay, so this channel basically carries the signal from the transmitter to the receiver. Next, let us look at the receiver. So receiver is exactly opposite of transmitter. The transmitter transmits, the receiver basically receives, and once it receives, it processes it. So there is a carrier in it, there is a signal in it. There is message plus carrier. That is what we have sent, isn't it? So we have to process it to take out the carrier and only take the message, and finally convert it from an electrical form to a non-electrical form, just like a sound or picture. Okay. And there are many kinds of receivers that, as you will study forward, as you will go forward, you will see there are many kinds of receivers. Okay. And it basically depends on the type of modulation. Now what happens in a receiver is a step called as demodulation. Out of many other processes, there is something called as demodulation. Okay, so once you receive the signal, you again amplify the signal, you demodulate the signal, and after demodulation, you get the original signal. This is the portion where, demodulation is the process where you take out the carrier and get the message only outside. Okay, and that is what the demodulation does. It basically gets you the message signal in an electrical form. So it's just as the inverse of modulation. So at the transmitter we have modulation, at the receiver we have demodulation. Now this may be fed to a loudspeaker or video display unit, that is a TV, or it may be to a teletypewriter, fax, or radar display, or television picture tube, anything, even a computer. Okay, so destination basically converts the signal. So I will avoid this statement here because the transducer I have already used in receiver. So destination is finally the person who is receiving it. Okay, and understanding the information. If there is no understanding of the information, then it's lost. There is no point in sending. So that's why we are having a destination. So these are the forms of, or the elements of communication that we have to study in our course throughout. Thank you.